It's August 5th, and I can't even believe it. Like, I can't believe that we are literally in August of 2025. We are closer to Christmas than not, which is crazy to me. But I'm excited to be with you guys this morning because I've had an epiphany, and I was going to talk about something else this morning, but I feel like sometimes these epiphanies happen, and that can be one of the best things that you can do is share kind of what's happening in your own life and some breakthroughs, that you go through. So this morning i I figured out that I have some decisions to make. So this is more for women for sure, but if any guys ever watch this recording, there are no guys on here right now, which I'm actually okay with that. um, this could be helpful for what if they're married, how to handle their wives. So I am in a place where I have a decision to make. And why this I'm sharing it with you guys, I think it's like we all have decisions to make every day. The decision on how we want to show up in our life, how we want to show up in our businesses, how we want to navigate through our relationships, the boundaries that we want to set, the how hard we want to work. So it's all those things. Like we have that decision. It's our decision whether we show up on Power 30, whether we message people, whether we want to, go for scary goals, whether we want to just sit back and sit in the, oh, nothing's working and stay stuck, that feeling of stuck. Because honestly, you guys, it is all about the decision. And so I'm just going to be very open and vulnerable with kind of what's going on in my life. Because I was talking to Connie, I'm like, that saying where if it helps one person, it's worth it. Like, that's kind of my attitude. Like, if this helps one person in the middle of trying to help myself, then it's going to be worth it. So I've been navigating these health issues. Um, with I don't know if it's perimenopause, menopause, whatever you want to call it. I don't know. I don't have, any kind of real diagnosis that way. But I do know that my hormones are completely out of whack. My estrogen is so high, and my progesterone is nothing. And so that has caused just an imbalance. I gained so much weight that my my normal um, is pretty easy to maintain for me. But I had a miscarriage about a year. It was a year in January, which is crazy because I had my tubes tied 11 years ago, 12 years ago. And so that was obviously very shocking. And so ever since then, though, my hormones have just been out of whack. And I got on the scale today. And let me just preface with saying, had I not had these Plexus products, definitely who knows where I would be. I would probably be laying in bed and not on this call. But I got on the scale today and I'm like the same weight as my 9 months pregnancy weight. Okay. So that's not fun for me, and it's not even the number, it's just knowing kind of where I am with my health. And it's not even about the weight. I don't know if you guys can relate to this. If, like, has anyone ever struggled with PMS? Like, drop a one if you ever struggled with PMS, where you get snippy and there's like, you have no reason for it. You're just like, you know what I mean? Like, I told my husband yesterday, I said, I'm sorry I've been a hormonal. And he's like, yeah, you haven't been that hormonal. And he cracked himself up. I'm like, yeah, you're right. But it's like, there's no reason for it, And I actually had to apologize to two of my adult children because I was just having a bad day, just snippy. And what I realized, even with that, I have to decide, am I going to allow myself to show up in my relationships? Am I going to be apologizing to my family as I go through whatever I'm going through? Or am I going to choose am I going to decide that I'm going to show up in a different way in my life? Um, so that's all been happening. Okay. So like struggling mentally, as far as not being myself, being very short, um, feeling tired. Now, granted, okay, there are no guys on here. I've been struggling just with some health things. Like anyway, I'm not going to share that part. Um, so I have a decision to make, and so I decided today that I'm going to do something about it. I don't want to be apologizing to my kids. I don't. So I know, like, even if I feel snippy, I know that I can decide not to react that way. If that's truly a decision that we can make. So, what does that even have to do with Plexus? Well, we can decide on August 5th, how do we want to show up this month? Jamie, how do you want to show up this month? Amy, how do you want to show up this month? Haldis, how do you want to show up this month? Do you want to look back on August of 2025? Because we only have today, right? Like showing up with gratitude and showing up with fire in our belly for reaching our goals, showing up with that attitude of excellence that we want to show up with. Do we want to do that? Is that how we want to show up? Or do we want to look back on today and think, eh, oh, another day, my business. I didn't message people. I didn't post like I should. I didn't follow up with people. I didn't check in with my leaders. I mean, we have that decision. I have that decision. You have that decision that you can make today. And you don't even have to worry about tomorrow, or you don't have to look back on yesterday, but you can decide today, how do you want to show up? Like, life is full of daily decisions, moment to moment decisions. When my kids are disrespectful to me, do I respond with anger and impatience, or do I respond with guidance and, hey, like, let's not do that, calm and peace? So I want you guys to reflect, what decisions do I need to make today to be the person I want to be? Last night we celebrated my father-in-law's 84th birthday, and he shared about some, things in life. And I just thought, man, he's 84. I'm 51. I know how life works. I know before, just like that, I'm going to be 84, Lord willing, right? I mean, I know that I am not promised tomorrow. I know that I have the strength or the power, right, to decide how I respond to what life throws at me too. So if you're in a place in your business where you're like, I just don't like where I'm at, or you might be thinking, man, I love what's happening in my business. I love how I'm showing up. I love that action, the momentum that my team is in. And I hope and pray that's the case. But you can decide, man, am I going to be consistent with how I show up? Am I going to be consistent with the fire that I bring to the table every day, and how I show up in my team chats, and how I'm messaging people, and how I am chasing after the goals and dreams that God has put on my heart? You guys decide that. So today, I want you to decide, how do I want to show up for the next 24 hours? What do I want the best version of me to look like? Because really, ultimately, that is your decision. Can you decide what happens in life? Can you decide if people are going to get laid off, or if you're going to have a health crisis, or if your kid's going to be disrespectful, or be, you know, maybe not obedient? Or can you decide, if there's a car crash? You cannot decide those things, but you can decide how you can react to that. And the truth of the matter is, you guys, it matters. What you decide today matters. So I want to encourage you guys to decide how you want to show up for the next 24 hours. You don't have to have the rest of August figured out. You don't. You can work on it day by day. You can, and if you need to break it down, sometimes when life gets hard, you can, okay, for the next hour, how do I want to show up? I'm about ready to go out with all my girls. I have 3 daughters and I have 2 daughter-in-laws, and we're having a girls' day with my granddaughter. I want to show up with the legacy mom and grandma that I want to be. I want them to look back on this day as if, man, that was such a fun time. We had so much fun, right? I felt seen, I felt heard, I felt loved, I felt cared for. I felt like, man, this is a bonding day. That's how I want this morning's girls' outing to look like. So, knowing what I've been going through hormonally, like, I know, like, that short little temper is right there. Like, I know, it's like the angel on the side and the little demon on this side. Like, I know it's right there. And if you have ever dealt with PMS, you know what that feels like, right? It's like it's on the cusp. But I can tell you that I want to show up in that loving patience because I have my daughters are watching me. My daughter-in-laws are watching me. I have a little granddaughter who's going to be watching me. Like that matters. So, and then I'm going to come home from that and I'm going to dive into my business because I know what I do today actually matters. Does it matter if I send 10 messages, 20 messages, 30 messages? Yes. With all the health stuff that I've been going on, I have felt so tired. And it's been really hard to show up in my life. It's been hard to have the energy to message people. But at the same time, it's like, I know if I decide for that 1 hour, because that's all it's going to take, right? Like if I pour into my business for 1 hour, that will make a difference for the next 30, 60, 90 days. So I'm going to decide to show up for that 1 hour, even if I don't feel like it. I have that decision to make. Even if I don't feel like it, I can decide to show up in a way that is effective, that can create momentum, and it will make my day better. So I just want to encourage you guys, decide, decide how you want to show up for the next 24 hours, 48 hours, because what you decide to do will make a difference and it has an effect on the people around you. Because I can tell you, my family, they've been feeling it, and I still have 3 kids at home that I'm raising, and we're about ready to start our 25th year of homeschooling. And I'm going, oh, Lord, have mercy. I have a 10th grader, a ninth grader, and a 7th grader. And it's going to be a busy year. We have lots of sports. We have lots of activities. I'm a Sunday school teacher. They asked me to be a mentor mom, which just cracks me up. I'm like, I got nothing for them, but okay, I'll say yes. But I'm going to decide to show up in a way that I can look back and think, okay, I did my best there, right? Or I showed up, I did that with excellence, even if I didn't feel like showing up with excellence. So I want to encourage you that what you do today matters for your business. It's 9:46. We normally go till 10. We're not going to go till 10 today. I want you to take this next 14 minutes and figure out how do you want to show up today for your business? Because that really does make a difference. Do you want to, when you lay your head on your pillow tonight, imagine laying your head on your pillow and closing your eyes and just being reflective of the day. Do you want to look back on this 24 hours that God has given you breath in your lungs and a day to make a difference, a day to make an impact? And do you want to answer the question like, yes, I'm thankful for how I showed up today? Or is the, man, I should have sent more messages, or I should have posted, or I should have been kinder, or in that reflection, what do you want to feel? Because truly that is our decision. If you're going through a hard time, it doesn't, what you decide to do with it, it doesn't matter. You truly have that decision to show up in a way that you can be proud of, that you could be thankful, that you have the strength and courage to do it. And when you build that muscle, if you build that muscle of showing up in the way, just making those decisions where you're thankful for that, it can truly get stronger and stronger. And imagine the people in your life, they're going to be watching you. They do watch you. People watch you. How you talk and respond to people has an effect on their life. And you have the power to make it positive or negative. So I just want to encourage you guys, take these next 12, you have 12 minutes now. Think about how you want to show up today. Decide how you want to show up today. And then make it happen and do the things. Will you be perfect? No, you won't. Will I be snappy with someone? I might. I hope I'm not. But I will apologize. You know, guys, apologizing to my adult children, to my new daughter-in-law, that's not a fun thing. You know what I mean? It's like, that's not fun to me. So I don't want to, not in the sense of, I don't want to hurt that relationship. I don't want to be that mother-in-law that's a jerk, you know? And so it's like,
Yeah,
I
come on,
want
let's go
to
inside.
have a good, healthy relationship. So definitely, let's make sure that we show up the way that we want to, because it's our decision. So you guys, drop in the comments, drop in energy momentum. What decision are you going to make today that's going to move your needle forward
Come
in
on.
this business?
Uh-uh.
Decide.
Uh-uh. Uh-uh.
Sorry,
Come on, let's go
I
inside.
don't know how
Go
to
upstairs.
mute people. Let me figure this out. Host tools. Oh, I don't know how to do that.
Oh my
Anyway,
gosh, I'm so sorry. I don't know how I got unmuted.
no worries, buddy. So drop it in in the comments, okay? I want one decision that's going to move your needle forward. Thank you guys for hopping on. Thank you for listening to my ramblings. And you know, let this team be the team that makes impact, because that's what we're here for. We're not here for ourselves. We're not here for, you know, just living a life that is all about us. We're here to make an impact for others. And you know, we're very blessed that we have these tools, this opportunity to make that difference. So I love you guys. Thanks for hopping on. You guys are amazing. Have a good day.